Hello to you. Hello to you, oh my Brathrandil and Mitrandil. So I just came out of the gym after a very heavy, very difficult leg workout. The main reason is that I took almost 1 week break, and in that 1 week my weight had now increased from 93 to 95 kgs. So today I am 95 kgs. So that's what happens if I don't go to the gym. If I don't go to the gym for maybe 1 more month, I'll be 100 kgs. So that's very simple. So that's how my metabolism is. It just slow, I think. Just does not just adds in a lot of fat. My belly is very big. I can see in the mirror that my belly is very big at the moment. And the leg workout was very good. I was able to do 2 sets of 160 kg deadlifts and 1 set of 150 kg deadlift. So that was just perfect. So in terms of strength, my body is in top condition. But in terms of cardio, it's not bad. I was able to run 1 mile before I started my workout. So I ran 1 mile in 7 minutes 51 seconds. So it's usually like 8 minutes, the same. And I had one more problem, was that I had only 1 hour to work out today. So I came to the gym at around 6:45 to 7 o'clock. And after my one mile run, I had exactly 1 hour to do my leg workout. And just the squats and deadlifts, 3 sets each, takes me half an hour or more, even 35 to 40 minutes, because it's very heavy. So I take a long break maybe between the sets. But it's very good workout. And I think I need to buy a heart rate monitor, because my heart rate is very high even during the entire leg workout. My heart rate is very high, and almost feels like I've been running a marathon or something. But it's just the weight training, very heavy, lifting very heavy weights is almost like running very fast. It's the same thing. Your blood is just pumping all the time, and your body needs probably a lot of oxygen. And now I feel very good after the entire workout, because the leg muscle feels really, the leg muscle feels, I can feel that leg muscle and I knew that I had completely broken down my leg muscles after my squats. When I was doing my squats, I could feel the leg muscles were really, I could feel the pain inside the leg muscles. And after that, I had to do 3 more sets, 3 more workouts, 3 more exercises with machines, and that was just very quick. In less than 15 minutes, I finished the entire 3 exercises. So 3 sets in 5 minutes each. So just so this is exactly what I mean when I say Frank Zane used to work out, really give less rest between workouts, between sets, to burn more fat. So this is exactly what I mean by trying to burn fat using by giving less breaks between, less time breaks. I mean, the break time should be less between sets. I almost feel like I've been drunk or something. I think it's just the pleasure. I think the workout releases some testosterone or some kind of pleasure hormones in your brain. It feels so good. It's almost like when you get drunk sometimes, when you have a very heavy shot of whiskey or something like that. It's the same feeling, just knocks you out. I think it's just activating the brain, pleasure centers in the brain. This is what makes us addicted to leg workouts or workouts in general. Workouts can be addictive, so I am kind of an addict. I usually need some kind of dopamine release, so it could be workouts, exercises, or all the other kinds of dopamine release that you can imagine. So the only thing I do is workouts. I have to bring this weight down somehow. And also my stomach feels very full because I had almost an entire can of kidney beans before coming here. The kidney beans are very gassy kind of food, so it makes you full and it gives you some kind of gaseous energy, which is, I've read in some, like the old English people from the Victorian age, they used to think that kidney beans and all these beans, they give you that fake sense of it's a fake sense of sexual energy or something. So it gives you that. Even when you eat a lot of lentils or kidney beans, you get that gassy feeling, that's airy energy, that's almost like you feel very virile or like very fertile, that sense of feeling. It's like an aphrodisiac. Luckily I've had a 1 week break and the weather is also good, so this was really heavy, man. I could even get sick right now. It's almost like that. Yeah, it's almost like the beginning of a fever or something. Yeah, but it's not gonna happen because I've had plenty of energy stored in my body in the last 1 week, so there's no way I can get sick now. The weather is good. Okay, what's the news for today? So today I had an interview with Persistent Systems. It's an Indian software company based in Pune, and they have almost 100 different branches all over the world, I think, and almost 20 or 30 of them are in India. And I think in Europe they have like 5 or 6, and in America also they have probably 10 or something. So yeah, they probably have like 50 branches, and it was started in 1990 by a very distinguished gentleman called Arun Deshpande or something like that. And he started it for $21,000, and later he got a sponsorship from Motorola or something, and they also started giving him, a lot of people started giving him, I think he got some money from Motorola. And since then he's been acquiring a lot of American companies as well, almost 5 or 6 small American companies, and now the entire company is worth $6.1 billion US. And so the interview today was conducted by a woman from Pune. Her name is Smriti Deshpande or some Smriti Ardeshkar or something, some Marathi name. And she was asking me very simple Java questions, very simple questions which I should have answered, but I think I fumbled with a few of the questions, like what are the different access modifiers. I said I give the answers. What are the different what's the difference, what are the 2 ways to initialize a thread in concurrency, and what is static class versus what is instantiated class, and Yeah, I think I could not answer that one, but I kind of tried to explain it with static variable versus instantiated class variable, something like that. And what are the other questions that were asked? They asked me about, she asked me what are the different design patterns that you use in your software, in your company, what design patterns that you use. So I said like builder, singleton, and factory pattern, and she said okay, these are just object creation design patterns, object instantiation patterns or something. Yeah, so then I checked on Google that there are 3 different types, and the second type is where like you have different types like command, facade, and strategy, visitor, and all those things. So there's one more category I completely forgot what different patterns that has. So there are almost like 50 different patterns, and I only mentioned 3 patterns. So that's something I should be well prepared for. So what else did she ask? She asked me about what is a transient variable. Okay, and one more thing she asked was, can you share your screen and open your IDE? So I opened IntelliJ, and then I started saying. Then she asked me to do a binary search algorithm, and I said I don't know that. And then she asked me do the string. If I give you a string, try to find whether there's a duplicated character in the string or not. So I did that very easily, and I showed that. And she said next she asked me what is the other stuff like okay, so what are the other questions she asked me? She asked me about what kind of architecture do you use in your company for your software. I said it's a monolithic architecture, and we use Spring Boot backend, RESTful API, client server or something like that, and it's not related to any web, and it's just a front end and a back end, and it's just a desktop application. Yeah, so that's the first question she asked me, and towards the end I think she asked me a few more questions like and I think I fumbled on a lot of the questions, so I don't know if I'll I don't think that I'll get it, but deep in my heart maybe there's a chance. I don't know. I would be very happy if I answer those, if I get that job. But yeah, that job is pretty good actually, and they can easily give me the salary that I've demanded, and they can actually provide more salary for my position. So that's the thing about my job, this interview. Yeah, luckily, when I did some research on the company, I actually came across a lot of good things about this company, because the first impression I got was from the woman from Hyderabad who called me, and she was going to interview me, but I had some bad impression because I didn't know why a woman from India would do an interview for me for a company which was based in London. And then I realized that okay, this company is really an amazing company. It started in India, created multiple branches all over the world, and now they have the control of the entire world from the Indian center in Pune. So I was quite happy about doing this interview and learning more about the company. And I tried to go through the website, and I checked all their different services they provide. They provide BPMN services just like what I'm doing right now, consultancy, creating AI software, and they have different branches like that, different services, and cloud services. Yeah, so it's an amazing company, and they've got very, very big projects all over the world. Australia, they have a big presence in the Salesforce area, so they have a lot of Salesforce development going on, and yeah, they are doing a lot of cost cutting for a lot of different companies, and Yes. So after that, what are the other questions she asked me? She asked me some things about maybe what's the difference between string buffer and string builder. Oh yeah, I didn't answer that at all. String buffer and string builder I could not answer. And yeah, after that I probably yeah, I could have somehow answered that question, string builder and string buffer. It's a very simple question, and it's a very sad thing that I could not answer that. But and also binary search was also a big failure. I could have easily implemented binary search. When I checked on Google, I saw that it's very easy, and all those questions I could easily answer. For example, I should have prepared for like sorting and quick sort and binaries, quick sort, bubble sort, and all those things. I had learned those things in my engineering when I was learning C programming. Yeah, so that's the thing. And then what else? Yeah, so that was my interview overall. Very good. I had a good experience with this interview, and I will be having another interview on Thursday, so I have some more time. So for that I will be well prepared. I will look at all the areas that they are going to ask me, prepare very well for each area, and also maybe learn some more AWS. I learned some AWS Lambda, AWS S3 bucket, AWS. So now I need to learn AWS Glue and AWS CloudWatch. CloudWatch is just like a monitoring system, so I don't think it's really something to learn anything about. And so yeah, AWS, yeah, so that one is for Hyde Homes. That company is Hyde Homes, and Hyde Homes sounds like a very good company. I should be able to do very well in that interview. And what else is going on in my job search? So in my job search now, I've almost completed 520 job searches, and I've only got only got a few calls for interview, which means that I have probably not impressed the people with my CV. Then I looked at a video today and I realized that maybe my portfolio is not very good. My portfolio has to be very good. I had a lot of apps on my portfolio website, and all of them are now dead because all of them were hosted on Heroku.com, and Heroku is not providing free services anymore. So almost 5 or 6 of my softwares are not working on that portfolio. So I need to somehow upload all of those apps on a different system. So a couple of them are working, which were hosted on Netlify, but some of them I had in so I need to find a free hosting service which I can use for my portfolio website. Oof. Oh. Yeah, so I definitely need to reduce my fat. 95 kgs is a pretty bad thing. Yeah. What about the other stuff? So the weather was very sunny today in the afternoon, but now it's a bit cloudy now. So yeah, this is my car park where I come to the gym. This is where I like to make my videos. So yesterday I also had a conversation with my friend on a friend of mine on TikTok, who is also an astrologer. Like, she's an amateur astrologer, but when I had some conversations with her, I realized that I should actually be. My North Node is in Leo, is in the first house, and I should actually be very dominant with my North Node in the first house and in Leo. And I should stop being a coward, should stop hiding behind, and be more present, be more assertive, and be a leader for the world. And that's my real purpose in life, and that's what the North Node says. The North Node is about your purpose in this life and what you're meant to do, and the South Node is all your past life karma and what you had to learn or something like that. So now in this life, the North Node shows what you should be doing. And my South Node is in the 7th house, which means that I had some in the 7th house, which means the 7th house of partnerships, which in my cafe astrology report I learned that it means that I have had so much experience in my past life with respect to partnerships or wife or things like that, that I don't really need much to learn much about my partnerships in this life. That I have learned so many things in my last life in terms of partnerships, that this life I don't seem like I need that. What I really need to learn in this life is to be assertive, to be a leader, to be visible to everyone, to be present, and to be a leader, a dominant. That's the Leo. That's my purpose in this life, not to hide behind the curtains, or not to be a coward. So that's what I will try to do, and I will probably try to increase my presence on YouTube with that message, and it is to spread my life purpose to everyone and be a real true leader. And that's my real purpose in life. Yeah, I agree with that. I know that when you try to assert yourself, there's a lot of assholes who are going to bring you down. That doesn't mean you have to be a coward. You have to be on your own. You have to stop depending on others, and you have to be your own man and be more independent, and stop depending on other people, and you don't have to depend on the favors of some losers or some assholes or some agents or some people who act like they are your managers or something like that, or your bosses. Don't be dependent on them. Fuck them, and learn to be your own man. You don't have to depend on anyone, and that's what I've learned. Don't be afraid of anyone. Be your own man. That's my purpose in this life. Yeah, that's an interesting message, and at the age of 44, I think it's very, very much valuable for me, because I've been hiding behind everything, hiding behind the disguise of spirituality or being a saint. It's not really that convincing to me, because all that is happening is that I'm becoming fat by hiding behind people, hiding behind things. And if I assert myself, I can dominate anyone, and there's nothing anyone can do about it. That's my true purpose in this life. And I knew even when I was a child that I can be a true leader and start kicking the asses of people who try to mess with me. And I always knew that I can do that, and this is what I'm going to do. That's my purpose in life. There's nothing to hide about here, and I'm too old right now, like 44 years. It's like too old to learn these lessons, but I will. At least it's not too late. I'm a late bloomer, but finally the plane will take off now, and first thing I probably have to do is to grow some hair and find some hair regrowing technologies or some medicines or herbal treatments to regain this hair. And one more thing I learned today is that the Rust language, 9 hours of Rust language that I learned today was so valuable for my Java interview today. And that's why C++ is almost like the king of all languages. Is when I learned Rust, I learned what happens with your memory, what's Java heap memory, what's stack memory, and I could easily answer those questions today in the interview. And there were a couple of questions based on that, and I could easily answer that. And thanks to the 9 hours of hard work that I put into learning Rust, I could actually answer those questions. And I will finish learning my Rust. I thank Rust for all the amazing powers it gave me. Thank you, Rust. And I will also start learning C++ and C, and I will finish that soon. I've also been learning different languages. I finished the entire section of the first section of French language. Now I am an explorer in French language, which means I was very dumb in French language even like 1 month ago, and now I can actually read French language up to a certain extent and understand a few sentences very easily. It feels like I have some kind of ability to understand French, maybe from a long time ago. I don't know how I know that. It feels like a very cool language, and I seem to have some kind of an idea of what they're saying from just the way it sounds. And I don't know how I got that ability, but maybe I've been exposed to French a lot, and that's why I can understand French very easily, because I don't understand how I could finish the entire first section of the Duolingo French language lessons. The second point is I'm almost about to finish the first section of Russian. Yeah, but for Russian I'm still in the 11th unit, and I need to finish 15 units for Russian. And last week when I was listening to some Russian small Russian news item on YouTube, I could see that the guy was talking in some words which I could recognize. For example, he was using the word nasha. Nasha means ours, and nasha territoria means our territory or something like that. And he also used the word deliko, and deliko means far away in Russian. So I learned all these words from Duolingo, and it's just amazing. And in terms of learning Chinese, I'm still learning the letters. It's called Hanji, or what is called. So the pinyin is the like the tones, different tones, but kanji or hanji or whatever you call it, that's the script in Chinese, the Mandarin script. It's like almost 3,000. You have to learn almost 1,000 of them. But right now I only know the 3 words for example, shu is shui is water, and cafe is coffee. So you need to learn the patterns for each and every word, which is almost like a dumb way for writing the script for a language. I don't know how the Chinese actually became the most intelligent civilization in the world, but their entire philosophy of writing their script seems to be very dumb. Like a pictorial representation of every word is almost like cuneiform, like almost like the Egyptians wrote there on their pyramids. Like every word is like an animal or something, and it's very dumb. Although it's beautiful, but it's very dumb. I can't really, you have to, like a pictorial representation of every word seems very dumb to me, and which means that your vocabulary of Chinese is also equivalent to the vocabulary, like the number of script characters that you remember. So any Chinese person remembers almost 1,000 or 2,000 characters, and basically at the end of the day it's just that's their entire vocabulary. Maybe you have the combinations of these, so with different tones the same word will mean different things. Yeah, so 1000 into maybe, if each one of them has the 2 or 3 different meanings, then yeah, you can have maybe 10,000 words from this simple characters. Yeah, so it's a combination of these. And yeah, so Chinese, yeah, interesting. Maybe it shows that Chinese is a very ancient language. That's why in those days people used to remember words by their pictorial representation. It was almost like the same time as the Egyptians. So it shows that probably Chinese and the Egyptians were starting to evolve the alphabet together. But if you look at the Japanese alphabet, it's very good. It's like I don't know what you call it, hiragana. No, I don't know what you call it. Hanji. Hinchin Hanji. Okay, Hanji is the Japanese use 2 different systems. One of them is derived from the Chinese system. One of them is the basic Japanese system, which has more simpler words, which I am learning right now. It's much more interesting for me, and it looks more or less like the normal alphabet that we use, except that the Japanese have different ones for ma and mi and ka and ki and ku, and yeah, so that's, they have a different character for each one of those. Like, yes, why not have a simple one for each vowel and consonant? That's just what most of the European languages, what the Greeks use, what the Indo-European languages use. Sanskrit uses, Russians, yeah, the Cyrillic alphabet. Yeah, that's what they use. So why not just use something like that? Yeah, but yeah, that's probably a new evolution in language which the Egyptians and the Chinese did not know at the time. And I think all the modern languages which use this alphabet are probably related to the Syrians, Assyrians, or Phoenicians, who used to live in the Mediterranean region at the time, maybe near the Mediterranean Sea, or where now Israel is, or Palestine, or the Levant, or the Fertile Crescent. Yeah, that's where all this originated. And yeah, interesting. So a lot of things I'm exploring in my life right now, although there's nothing much interesting happening in my life. I'm just cooped up in my room and learning new languages. It's a very stressful time at the same time, because I also have to look for a new job. I also have to now create my own portfolio which is functional, and also apply to new jobs, also learn Rust, also learn C++, also learn C. At one point I was also really motivated to learn embedded system programming, and that's a whole another world of technical terms and shit which you will probably take a few years to learn. It's almost like, oh my god, embedded systems is probably a whole year of like 2 semesters of electronics engineering education. And probably the computer science people and the electronics people learnt about it, and the mechanical engineers never learnt anything. The mechanical engineers learnt only C programming and maths in the first year, and apart from that nothing was common with the electrical and electronics and computer science and the information science disciplines in my college. So they are very lucky, they learnt all these things. They also learnt I learnt electronics in my first year. It's called basic electronics, and I learnt only the simple things like transistors, gates, NAND gates, NOR gates, and it was a whole lot of shit. I could not even understand what a transistor was and what's the importance of it. And yeah, very interesting. I need to learn more about electronics. I always had a big fascination for it, the complication of the electronics that exists. If I had learned maybe 20 years ago when I was learning basic electronics, now I would have been an expert in let's say artificial intelligence, like all these electronics circuits and how these people create these NVIDIA circuits and new AI oriented softwares, AI oriented chips, which I don't even understand what's the significance of these chips, and what's the microcontroller, what's the processor, and I don't even know the different parts of a computer, like what's what's a motherboard consists of. And although I don't really feel that it's really important to know what's the architecture of all these things, but when I start to learn those embedded systems stuff last week or something, I try to understand what these embedded systems have from the job descriptions. For embedded system engineer, I learned more something about real-time RTOS, like real-time operating system. It's very interesting, like how these people design this RTOS architecture and ARM architecture, which is from a UK-based company called ARM, which is based in Cambridge, and it's a huge company, and it's also on the NASDAQ. And ARM architecture is actually used in almost all electronics embedded systems. So it's just amazing that so many things are created by Cambridge, and I don't even know anything about these things. And yeah, it's just amazing. All these things are electronics is something I never learned anything about. And computer science, what's happening inside the computer science field, never learned about it at all. I mean, there's a lot of things to learn about databases, like how all these SQL databases evolved. I learned something from a documentary last month or so. And yeah, even like 1970s, they didn't know anything about SQL. And the way the SQL evolved itself was almost like how artificial intelligence is today. Like before that, you need to know exactly what do you have inside the database, like what items you have stored inside the database, so that you can navigate through it. But now you don't need to know anything what's inside the database. And a British database engineer, a database software engineer, actually came up with the idea and created that idea. And he actually argued with the first one who created the database, and he got Turing Award. The first one who got the Turing Award, he came up with a very bulky database architecture, where you need to remember all the database architecture inside and remember it. And it's a very retarded way to go through a database, navigate through it. But then the British guy came up and challenged the first guy, and he later, I think, got a Turing Award himself. Turing Award is the best award in almost like a Nobel Prize in computer science. So this guy got the Turing Prize. Both of them got the Turing Prize. And I think the guy who invented SQL, he died, I think, almost 20 years ago by falling from the stairs or something like that. He fell down from a stair and died or something like that. Yeah, I need to look it up again. Yeah. So you see, after my big workout, I feel so good that I spoke almost 40 minutes. And this is how, when you feel good, you speak a lot. So you need to learn to enjoy your life, so that you can speak a lot, you can express yourself, express your ideas. And yeah, what else was fascinating about computer science? There's so many things that are like mysterious in computer science for me. Like in the 70s, how they came up with like COBOL and C programming language, and how they came up with object-oriented programming like Smalltalk, and all these C language children like Java, Python. And compared to everything, Java is very new. Like it came only in 1990s or like late 2000s. Python, all these things are very new. And C# came, I think, almost after 10 years after Java came, because of an argument with Microsoft. Microsoft didn't want to pay for some stuff with Java, so they have a big rivalry with Java, although the language looks very similar to Java. So C# and Java is almost the same thing. And except that I don't really like it so much. I like Java and all the IDEs of Java. So what else do I need to learn? I need to learn more about C programming and how C programming can be used to create embedded systems programming. Embedded systems, also systems programming. For example, operating systems are created using C++. You can create operating systems, you can create databases using C programming language, You can program like the Mars rover using C programming language. Everything which is very important is done with C programming. And yeah, so that's the basic gist of it. But now Rust is claiming to be a replacement for C, C++, and also Python. Rust is starting to become a replacement for all of these, and that's why I'm learning Rust. I've got 4 more hours to learn, and I will start learning Rust immediately, and I'll finish the 4 hours, and then I will have to start something and put something in my portfolio so that I can show it in my portfolio. And yeah, so Rust is the best language for me at the time being, at the moment, because I'm very grateful I started learning Rust, and because of that I could answer some interview questions in Java which has nothing to do with Rust. So it's just amazing. Yeah, so with that I will now conclude my talk. I have an interview on Thursday, and I will learn AWS Glue for that, and also refresh all my knowledge of Java, and we'll look up more into the job description. We'll study more about Hyde Holmes. And yeah, so with that I will end my talk now. So I'll talk to you tomorrow after my shoulder workout.